A good nutrient program is vital to the success of a farm's harvest season. Now, this morning in Farm Journal College TV, Ken Ferry talks program types and how to finish strong.
One of the things that we attempted to teach at Corn College is the 4 R's of nitrogen. And we're talking about rate, source, timing, and placement. And in this particular plot, we're looking mainly at the timing side of that issue. On this side over here, we put a little bit of nitrogen on with the corn planter and then came in at V12 and put the balance of the nitrogen on with the Y-drop itself. On this side of me over here, we put it all on in the spring before planting one big large application, which is a lot riskier, and the challenge, can we make it to the end? But one thing it does do is it does give us adequate nitrogen on the front end. When we're thinking about delaying our application with a late season side dress or Y-drop type scenario, we have to make sure we have enough nitrogen in the tank to get us to that case. In this situation, we didn't quite have enough. This corn slowed down and it started to change how it looks. So if we look at maturity, when we stress a plant before pollination, we slow it down. So if we look at these plants that we did the late application, we can see where the silk is, and we can compare that to the plants where we put it all on up front. And there's a definite maturity difference here, meaning that we've slowed this plant down. The other thing that we can notice here is stalk diameter. So the plant that was delayed with late application versus up front, this has a lot bigger stalk diameter. So that indicates early season stress, and that can come into play on our ear size. So if we put too much stress on this plant, it may move from an 18 to a 16 to a 14 around. It may shorten up its length as well. Now we're going to finish strong with both of these, and the question will be whether or not we have enough in the tank to finish this out. So if this all application up front runs out, we're going to shrink the kernel length, and we're going to definitely shrink the kernel depth. So in the end, there could be a swing in yield from one direction to the other. The ideal scenario, though, is not let this thing slow down early in its life and keep it moving all the way to the finish at the end itself. So a situation of thinking about how you're spacing your nitrogen, making sure the corn never has a bad day.
Coming up, these 5th graders learn an important lesson to save a loved one's life in the country. Next.
The Howard G. Buffett Foundation has pledged up to $1 million in relief funds to help ranchers impacted by wildfires. Please join our efforts to help ranchers get back on their feet. Details at wildfirerelieffund.org.